The head coach of the Slovenian men's team, and they are a factor in Europe, and that's really saying something, and much more on him as the match goes along. Brittany Abercrombie, we're going to see that an awful lot off the right side for Orlando. On a banjo, 6'1" in her second year, played collegiately at Iowa and Kansas. Abercrombie again, did she get a piece of the block? No, missed that out of bounds. When I was speaking with Coach Slave about what happened on Friday night, he said, Paul, we started serve with aggressiveness, with direction, with pace, with speed, and Atlanta got comfortable, and they turned that match around on us. Nice dig by Hilly. Getzinger out of the middle, just keeping that ball off the floor, and Hilly again. Parsons with the chase, and can't keep that ball off the floor.
Charity Luber was phenomenal in her first and only match so far with the Valkyries. 22 kills in 25.
She got benched for the next match.
That's just how much depth they have in the outside position with the Valkyries.
Yeah, 4 very, very good outside hitters for Orlando, the defending champions. Courtney Schwann, an all-around, do-everything kind of player. Nice tip over the top. What makes Abercrombie so, I won't say impossible, but very difficult to defend?
I think it's the variety and the range at which she attacks the ball. She has
and exactly what Nuneviller just did, hit off the top of the block. Good reception by both of these teams, and Charity Luber, really, really dynamic player out of first UCLA and then Louisville.
And because of Shampu's set and because of how hard Kaz Brown just sold her middle swing, it was a one between Kaz Brown and Shampu, and she took advantage.
Last year, the outside hitter of the year in 2025, 4th in the league in kills per set, and really good at the defensive end and reception as well. Both teams siding out at a pretty nice.
Right now, the passes have been a little off the net, so it's been very heavy outside so far.
Working short serve, Hence has to cover a lot of territory. Hentzville got a subdivision there, got expanded. Good block by Parsons, one-on-one. Shampu quickly to the outside, and Hannah Maddox has a load of talent, number 14 in light blue out of South. Third season, 18-10 last year. They finished third, beat Atlanta in the semis, 3-1, and that beat Indy for the $1 million first prize bonus. 1 in a million, working on Parsons. That ball left a little inside, and there's Kaz Brown with Shampu and the stuff.
One of the things that makes Kaz Brown such an elite middle blocker is her discipline. She's quick side to side, but then on top of that, she has the press and the timing. It's the little things that you do with all the way out to her right shoulder, and then she goes down the line in between zone 6 and 5.
Yep, on Omaha as well. That's the first kill of the season for on a banjo. Very undersized is Charity Luber at 5'10" generously. Do you block differently? Do you have to be quicker? What do you do?
And she knows that's got to be an emphasis for her to score.
A first-team All-American her senior year at Nebraska after transferring from Florida. That ball right on the sideline. Major League Volleyball replay system. You notice Christian Bishops is the #1 referee. Bill Thornburg is the second. Parsons is rock solid. Dug by Shampu. Throw down into the middle. Dug nicely by Maddox. And Brittany Abercrombie again. Boy, she has got the full fan. The whole court she attacks.
And that's exactly why she's so difficult to stop. If the block does adjust, then she just adjusts right back. She's got that range. It's nice and sharp. She also puts a lot of work in going to ride some horses in Arizona. He told me right before the broadcast.
Life is good. Enjoying being a grandparent, just like yours truly. Good block deflection by Getzinger, and that ball played. Brooke Nuneviller never lets a ball go down without a fight. If it was 10,925, very impressive numbers. Luber again. Targeting Parsons, but she's been right up to it. Good block again. Nicely done by Hannah Maddox. That's 4 contacts. And approaching the second meteor technical timeout. Comes at 16.
Coach Amy Pauley did tell us they want to target the outsides for.
Yeah, Parsons is 67% good or positive passing. That falls an unforced error by Getzinger at the top of the tape. First lead moments ago for Orlando.
I know they want to get their middles involved more. Neither middle really in a rhythm yet, so that's got to be something they emphasize.
Out to Parsons. Good block deflection by Shampu. Good slow down and a better read. That's why we talked about 2 elite setters, Shampu, and so much experience, and she added to that with an incredibly busy late spring, summer, late summer. Abercrombie, 3 kills on 6 swings and his very low error rate. Rarely gets blocked, even more rarely hits a ball out of bounds. Good cover by Pusic, and Shampoo now with her second kill.
One of the reasons Shampoo is such an elite setter is because she's very deceptive. She puts her hitters in one-on-one situations because of that deception, and then she also can be an offensive weapon herself, which when you run, tempo set, and you see her identify the hands of the middle blocker so well, crossbody swing away.
Pipe right back at you. Dug by Nunaviller. Decent. And Natalie Foster, fantastic rookie season last year. Did most of her damage from the service line. Did number 13, a graduate from SMU, set a new record for service. Abercrombie's leading the team in kills. She's got 3. Shampoo again from Thailand. She told me this morning how to say good morning in Thai. I can't repeat it.
I was going to say, do you remember?
I do not. Beautiful block. Getting back to what Coach Lucas Slabe said, we're just getting a clinician. He goes to camps a lot, so he's really able to not only coach the game and teach it at a very high level, but also communicate it very well. Really good hire by Omaha. One of 4 new coaches in Major League Volleyball this year. Abercrombie with a big side out score, 21-18. Play State. Nobody will ever forget 92,003 at Memorial Stadium for the Nebraska Cornhusker women's volleyball team, an all-time world record for attendance, not only in volleyball, but a women's sporting event. Looper, good off-speed choice. That one away from Hilly.
Charity Looper's got really good vision, too. We talk about her being undersized. She's only 5'9", but she's extremely explosive. She's got a high reach, and then she's got really good vision. She can see right back being a little too deep.
We talked about this big crowd. I'll tell you what, Orlando is playing so well and so consistently. They've silenced this crowd in the opening set. To Nunaviller. Restart the point. Nunaviller again. Abercrombie off the top of the block for the score in France.
You'll never see Brittany Abercrombie hit the same shot twice in a row. She varies it so much. There, dropping her lob, driving it down the line. Nice high cross-body swing. It's almost impossible to predict where she's going to attack.
Takes 11.5 swings. A really, really tough serve coming from Orlando, and they take the opening set. And the second half, they were absolutely red hot. There were 9 ties early. But forget about that. Orlando ended the opener on a
to that target zone. So they've been in system. The Valkyries only 6% to the outer zone. So really good passing both teams.
Maddox off the edge of the block and down. A fantastic delivery by Shampoo, but she was really stretched after a perfect reception by Charity Looper. Looper off to a...
Before, Omaha's passing well. Their hit percentage was a little low in that first set, hitting 146. So if they can limit the errors, find different ways to score, and not get blocked, it starts with that swing.
Perfect pass. Foster off the top. Dug by Nunaviller. Chased down by Hilly. Got to keep the free ball kind of low. It's a big scoreboard hanging over the middle of the court. Brittany Abercrombie again, number 6. Excellent, excellent play action by Orlando.
Really good setter-hitter connection. They brought Brittany Abercrombie about 4, maybe 5 feet inside the court, inside the antenna. She does a great job at getting her feet to the ball, stresses the block, and then there's a gap. There's a hole in the block. Risk high reward serve. To only miss one of those is phenomenal.
It's the best serving performance I've ever seen.
And you've seen a lot of volleyball.
The only thing that comes close is at the 2012 Olympics by Ivan Zaitsev, but that's a little bit too far inside.
She hasn't been set much. It was a really good swing. She had a nice open net for that one.
Brown keeping that ball alive. Free ball coming to Omaha. One on good block touch by Shampoo. Missed out of bounds. No, that caught a piece of the sideline. It wasn't perfect contact by Maddox, but it was good enough to score the point. Number 14 in light blue.
And I love that you pointed out Shampoo's block touch. That kept the rally going. There's some height disparity every side attacker, but she hung in the air nicely and slowed down the attack.
At only 5'7", she blocks her position pretty well and getting attacked all the time. Looper, chopping wood. Nice turn down the line by number 1.
Charity Looper hitting around 500. That's her 6th kill. She plays with a lot of consistency for being undersized. To the ball all the way through your swing and then watching it off the hands of Shampoo.
Technical timeout coming when a team reaches 8. There's Kaz Brown, and there is 8. And we'll go to the technical timeout. Number 11 strutting her way back to the service line. 8-6 is the advantage. We'll take a timeout.
Outside hitters at a low number. She's very disciplined. She's got a big press, and Ana Banjo got to her really well and quickly.
Maddox again, going high hands. Dug easily by Hentz. Such perfect free ball pass. Here's Abercrombie slicing and dicing again. Where hasn't she hit the ball? We're just really early on, almost midway point in the second set, and she's hit almost every area of the court.
Well, the block was all the way out to the pin. You can see it on the replay, and so when the block is all the way out there, I mean reps, but you see her getting targeted right now.
That was a tough serve to handle. Actually do that is too. Maddox, really good swing high up into Ana Banjo. That's the throwdown you were talking about. Beeson really working hard at the defensive end. Shampoo taken out of the play. Here's Abercrombie. Hence all over that. Beeson missed it just out of bounds. That ball off the receiver and out of bounds, and nicely done by Maddox.
Something that Hannah Maddox brings to this team is Coach told us she is a gamer. While she may not be perfect in every area, she works so incredibly hard, and she has such a gamer mentality no matter where she is.
Tough serve again. A service winner, and then a clean ace, and Orlando back on top after having won the first set 25-18. We're talking about the passing. Again, the sample size is small. Orlando's only played a couple. On a banjo. Foster with the paintbrush. Billy again, right side to Beeson is roofed. Charity Looper, all of that.
It's the hang time from Charity Looper, the discipline, the press. You have to be invasive over the net. Natalie Foster reaching her arms a little late to close, and Charity Looper says, no problem, I'm going to dive my arms into this seam.
Block deflection, Shampoo out of the play. Hittable ball outside to Abercrombie. That is a brilliant set, and that ball still alive. Nice play by Looper. I'll tell you, the block for Orlando is really stout right now. They are touching everything. Out to Looper. Through the block and down. Have another challenge.
Right over the net, really well placed.
Nor assist to Brock. Got married in November in her second season. 6'1" outside hitter. What a career she had. Nice play by Beeson at Creighton. Big East Player of the Year during her collegiate time. And Charity Looper again is doing it in reception, defense, and had that huge stuff block against Beeson earlier on. Is the advantage still for Orlando? Usage has really been avoided. She is a masterful passer. Haven't called her name much in reception at all. Looper there with another dig. Abercrombie, no. Nice play by Maddox. Very, very smart. Up into the block, off the antenna, and out of bounds for the score.
It's only Maddox.
Maddox now with 5 kills on 18 swings. Somewhat quiet. First touch by Ana Banjo. Looper out of the back row. Outstanding read by Shampoo because Maddox was on the floor.
Most definitely, and it's a triple block up, but Charity Looper saw the block, crossbody swing away, identified the hands of the blockers really well right there.
Orlando has had an answer every time Omaha has come back to put some pressure on them. One-on-one. Fantastic dig by Looper again. We'll give you her defensive numbers after this point. One-on-one again. Shampoo with the stuff that time against Nunaville. Charity Looper now with 7 digs, and the lead is back up to 4, so a 3-0.
The leg up on this set.
Opening set, Orlando led 18-16, won it 25-18 with a late push, and here it goes again. This set, Orlando led 17-16, and now up 22-17.
And to your point on the boundaries, playing in Brazil, she said, Coach Amy Polly told us it gave
all time in the history of Ohio State volleyball. This crowd is just raring to go. You saw or heard them when they exploded after that play by Merritt Beeson, but Orlando has taken them out of it. Looper. Charity Looper is a giving person on Sunday, and it's Orlando on the receiving end.
And I want to shout out Pusic, the libero for the Valkyries. She has really controlled this defense. That was a pretty hard attack, but she controls it well.
Player on the floor so far. And passing, it's such a good number, almost 60%. Little miscommunication there, but kept alive by Londot. Abercrombie. A seam in the block, and she'll find it every time.
Every time, you can almost guarantee it. If you see about a foot of space in between the middle blocker and the outside blocker, she's going to take advantage. Shampoo, this is another reason why it's so good that Shampoo runs a balanced offense, because it stresses.
Londot. Abercrombie, high up into the block, good chase by Nunaville. To Brock, looking high hands, and missed it out of bounds, an unforced error there. So the second set, again, Orlando taking this big crowd out of it so far, and Orlando looking to go to 3-0 on the Omaha. One swing by a middle blocker in that second set.
And the thing is, they're passing pretty well. They're getting the pass up to Sydney, who's not running it.
That's a medium pass coming right side to Londot. Londot wearing number 27 in white. Lucky cover by Orlando. Smartly back up into the block. Shampoo to Foster is able to throw that ball down through the block.
One of the things that Coach Amy Pauley challenged Natalie Foster with in the offseason was the quickness of her movements laterally, getting there, touching balls on the block, eye sequence on the block. She did a good job there at slowing down the attack, getting off the net, and then getting the kill.
Perfect pass by Nunaville, and immediately trying to get Reinhardt involved in the middle. Just not crisp there. And speaking of that, Hannah Maddox, number 14 in light blue, the outside hitters, of which there is a plethora. There's an abundance, an overabundance for Orlando. Maddox, and particularly
hand swing by her.
Morgan Hentz coming over as a free agent from Atlanta, Libero of the year the last 2 seasons, and had a fantastic year with the U.S. women's national team head coach Eric Sullivan. They finished 5th at the World Championships, and she played an awful lot in the first unit. Good set in transition by Pusic. Foster again, good stop or slow down by Reinhardt. Another long rally. Tight set, hitting the ball straight up was Londot. And Sis is blocked. Once again, going back to what Lucas Labe told us, Omaha is getting blocked way too often so far through the first 3 matches. 35 times on 300 swings, 10% rejections. That's way high. Sarah Parsons was struggling on the outside. Brooke Nunaville is having a spectacular late afternoon. Rare mistake. That was a setting mistake by Shampoo. Looper tried to save it, but back to Nunaville. 11 kills on 27 swings, 8 digs, and passing at just under 60%. It's not getting much help.
Yeah, exactly.
Tough serve, well handled by Looper, and then in system once again to Abercrombie. I think Shampoo and Abercrombie are starting to figure it out.
And Coach told us last year, I mean, they would stay after practice and rep it out and rep it out and rep it out. And you can tell it translates to on the court in the game, reversing the flow so well as Shampoo on a banjo.
Out of system swing here for Looper, going off speed. Nunaville, who's had the hot hand. Tough chance, Kaz Brown. Nice play by Hilly. Long rally. Sis out of the back row, rejected by Brown.
It's only a matter of time before Kaz Brown gets a stuffed block like that. Kaz Brown on the night, two kills on 7 attempts, no errors, but has come up big with the blocking. Big Steve was phenomenal. That was a really hard serve, but she grinded through that, really got her body underneath it nicely.
And a banjo. Back row, Looper again. Charity Looper is having an afternoon here in Omaha. 11 kills on 24 swings, 10 digs, and passing lights out at 64%, good or perfect. We'll step aside at the technical timeout. Orlando up 2-0 over Omaha. And the Cornhuskers obviously have done a magnificent job, and the Supernovas continuing exactly that. Crowd of over 10,000 waiting for their team to get hot. Nice play by Morgan Hentz on the dig, but that will be wiped aside by a net violation. The block was either Reinhardt on the outside or Hiller.
Both liberos for both teams, both of them having a quietly phenomenal night, honestly.
Tight pass. I love what Champu does with the rhythm of how she distributes the ball. Really puts a lot of pressure on the block. Dug by Londot. Nunaviller again. Smart by Hilly going to the hot hand, or the hottest hand anyway. Maddox. Brilliant swing by Maddox.
One of the things that makes Hannah Maddox difficult to defend is the speed of her arm swing. She's got a whip of an arm, and she's coming at it with all of that fire and explosiveness that she gets from her approach. Just formerly Nora Sis coming in with so much power through that back row attack.
Good rhythm to the outside, and another high-level swing by Maddox.
And to your point on the league, all of the coaches have all agreed that each year it gets better and better. The teams are the best they've been. The talent is as high as it's ever been.
28 Olympic Games. Another big summer coming up for the national teams. Nice, beautiful play by Champu. She is really an elite setter on a global scale.
And she makes it look easy.
For Omaha, we're 1 of 11. Perfect pass by Maddox. And that ball is good by Brown, who in her own right has been pretty quiet, as you pointed out, offensively. Very, very good player, particularly at the defensive end.
Most definitely, and she
love that full body crunch. Allison Holder, defensive specialist, also the backup libero, on to serve and play some defense. Block touch there. Good reaction by Londot on the throw down by Brown.
I would say all opposites are playing really good, really high hitting efficiency last season.
Yeah, I'll give you that number. Hey, there's another ace. That's the 7th ace so far on the early season. Once again, last year's new record holder with 64 aces on the season, her first in professional volleyball. Dug by Maddox. Pretty good first contact that time. Looper a little bit quiet in that third set. Remember, I told you, Madison, that don't get too close. I'm under the weather. And you look at her total, she's very productive. Look at that serve by Foster. Londot, good cover. Londot again. And gets it inside. Abercrombie with another dig. Nunaviller hits the floor more than a professional wrestler. Nice play by Abercrombie.
Wow, she really does. You can hear that from where we are, the bang on the ground, but it's that never say die kind of mentality that just makes her who she is. She is such a gamer. Good up by Hentz. Look at that. Bang, right on the floor, but it doesn't matter because she just wants to keep the ball alive. Champu delivering the set.
It's in South Korea that she... That's an ace serve, another one. This serve is such a weapon. We saw that all last season.
And watch it move from the time that it contacts her hand to the time it's back at the serve receive line. It is dipping and diving with so much pace. You got to get your platform there quickly, but it dives so much.
This is the best serve in the league. There's no question about that. If Morgan Hentz can't handle it, nobody can. Free ball coming. Good back row combination, and that ball blocked, but just out of bounds. Boy, that ball was just wide. You know what I've noticed about Champu? She gets her attackers one-on-one on an awful lot of average passers. That's what's really special about her.
Yeah, she can find their hands so well and still run the routes. That was a really well-executed route, kind of messing up the block.
Another very tough serve. 6-0 is the advantage. Maddox unloading out of the back row. Hilly digs that, but out of reach. And Orlando, after dropping the third set, is absolutely rolling. Very easy serve. Brown, no Abercrombie, and pulls that crossbody down the line.
Point Valkyries, skill by Abercrombie.
Just like the first two sets, the Valkyries are in control of the pace and the tempo. It's gotten 5 players involved offensively.
Plenty of time for Omaha to get back in this 4th set, once again facing a must-win situation. And here is Charity Luper, a little bit quiet in that 3rd set, but has re-energized herself after a really, really good start for the first couple of sets. Luper now with 13 kills on right now out of the middles. And at least Getzinger started, and she's been effective, especially on the slide as the M1, but not so much so far this late afternoon. Abercrombie, crossbody once again.
Shampoo with a beautiful jump set. She really does vary when she releases that ball. She's up in the air. She doesn't always jump set, but here she does. And what it does is it really messes up the block. The block can be on their way down. Look at that release. So well done. Good job at passing dime. Sydney Hilly didn't even have to move there. And then she got set and got the kill.
Question is, can Omaha put together a 3 or 4-0 run and really put some pressure on the visitors from Orlando? Orlando at 2-0. They've had a good solid week of practice. Omaha at 2-1 so far. They were picked. Orlando, fantastic. Wonderful job by the Supernovas. Averaged 10,900 last year. To Abercrombie, of course. You're going to go to number 6, the MVP, when you got to get out of a rotation.
I talk about Nunaviller getting sets when they're in pressure situations. She's their go-to. Abercrombie is their go-to. Back's kind of against the wall. They were on this team and in the league. Her touch is so calm and controlled, but it's hard coming off the bench with a serve this good.
Well handled by Pusic. And what a much-needed play by Charity Luper again. But Pusic this year is a site to be determined on May 7th through 9th. Good touch by Hentz. The ball was set too low, not up to Hilly's standards. On the slide, and somehow to the floor by Kaz Brown.
Kaz Brown put a lot of work in that play, getting off the net in transition, running her route. Good up by Abercrombie. Kaz Brown off the net. You're just trying to get it over. The defense doesn't know either.
Yeah, very interesting, something about the slide that's unique to women's volleyball. Pusic right on target, and Maddox with the dig. I was watching that replay of Kaz Brown, and one of the things about the slide, even if a middle attacker can't get beyond the 3-meter line, with the slide they can have
over the net, perfectly placed.
In system, Foster, Shampoo again, but give all credit to Charity Luper with dropping a dime off that serve under pressure. Well, again, she was very, very efficient last year, hitting .355 on the season. Block touch. Luper, no. Abercrombie through the seam in the block and down.
That's one of those, when you're down by 1, you've got to convert. You get a good block touch, basically a free ball. You can get your pass in system, and then you're going to go to your go-to, Brittany Abercrombie. Reinhardt just with a set point.
Yeah, tremendous comeback. They were coming apart at the seams. Pusic steps in. Abercrombie got a piece of the block. Oh, it's in. What a shot by Abercrombie from just inside the 3-meter line. And look who's going back to serve. Natalie Foster, the most dangerous serving weapon in the league. One, couple weeks. A lot of parity, particularly this year, more so than in the past couple. Ace serve for Natalie Foster.
We talked about it before. That serve is usually a high risk, high reward. There's barely any risk.
Expecting a heavy dose of Brittany Abercrombie for Orlando here in this 5th set. Well, there it is. And luckily rattling the ball through the block and down. We'll give you her numbers.
Minded, and that really bodes well for her.
Last set was won by Omaha 26-24. Luper off to a very, very good start. Has cooled off just a little bit. Bound to happen. She was just white hot. Good stab by Maddox. Nunaviller looking to add to her total. Roll shot Abercrombie. 18 digs. Tight, smart play by Hilly. A minor ball handling error, but you just can't put Sydney Hilly in that sort of trap set situation.
But that was a must-have for the Valkyries. Hannah Maddox determined to get.
Charity Looper, a diving dig. Yeah. Maddox as well. And Maddox with a fortuitous ace off the equipment. Fourth ace today for Hannah Maddox. It's a kind of Natalie Foster kind of. Abercrombie. Whatever Nunaviller can do, I can do right back at you. And as I thought, a heavy dose of Brittany Abercrombie.
Orlando leans on Brittany Abercrombie in these situations, whether she's in the back row or in the front row.
Well, I looked at the numbers from last year. She averaged 11.5 swings per set. So it's not unlikely that she would get a lot of balls. Londot. Abercrombie again. And off of Hintz. And down the line, Orlando takes the 8-6 advantage. Now Abercrombie with 20 kills, and the teams will change sides. We'll take a media timeout and be back to Omaha. With Omaha 2 years ago in 2024, took Indy to the championship match last year, and now back in Omaha after a magnificent career at Wisconsin. That ball just missed out of bounds by Reinhardt. Billy with 51 assists, 9 digs, 4 kills, and a couple of blocks as well. 3-0 run now for Orlando.
One-on-one.
Nunaviller back to serve, but will be available in trans out of the back row. Going away from Looper. Good dig once again by Maddox. Nunaviller hustling all over the place. Brittany Abercrombie showing her range once again and variety of location.
And it is hard to put a ball down against Nunaviller. She's been making incredible plays defensively, but Brittany's eyes are so good. Beautiful out-of-system set by Pusic, a true pro. And then you can see Brittany.
Holder on to serve and play defense once again. Working on Looper, out of system here, coming to Maddox, no, to Abercrombie. And again. That's why she was MVP last year and also had a big season last year. She won Athletes Unlimited.
And Shampoo does such a good job of finding her. That pass off the net. Charity Looper doing everything she can to get it a little tighter, but Shampoo reversing the flow, back set all the way to Brittany Abercrombie.
Remaining. Tiebreaker is to 15. Perfect pass, one-on-one. Crushed that time by Maddox, but all Shampoo and Charity Looper on the reception.
And Kaz Brown coming in strong on that attack. Middle blocker for Omaha, jumping with Kaz Brown, who's
right now. They need to side out here and then find a way to slow Abercrombie. They service ace now for Abercrombie. Now Omaha is in real trouble. First ace of the day.
And coming at a great time, too. Coach Pauly also told us, well, they're going at the outsides. They also want to serve them short because they want to disrupt the route. They want to take them out of the offense. A lot of their strategy was taking the outsides out of the offense.
Very timely by Abercrombie, not only attacking, as you pointed out, so efficient here in the 5th set, working on to Brock. And Nunaviller misses it out of bounds. So the defending champions from Omaha just 1 point away from closing this match out in 5 sets. Nia Shimei will come back on. The Orlando coming back to close this out in 5 sets after winning the first 2. Match point. Anabanjo is blocked, and Orlando goes out on the road. The number 1 and 2 ranked teams in the preseason. Orlando was picked to win the league, Omaha second. And Orlando, after really dominating the first couple of sets, valiant comeback by Omaha, and then a big closeout, 15-9 in the 5th set, Orlando over Omaha.
And that takes a lot of experience as a team in tough situations to win the first 2, lose the next 2, and then not get reverse swept. Really well done by the leaders, by the new additions of